I talked to some market people and other Krunker players, and we were trying to think of a way to fix the Krunker markets. This past few days after I made that last video, I tried getting back into trading just to kind of get back in the mode. I went to trade lobbies on our Discord. It wasn't very fun, and trying to calculate prices knowing that they're going to rise or drop just kind of ruined everything, and I just didn't get that hype energy when I usually did trading months ago. So I'm sure you guys probably already saw my last video. If you didn't, please do. I talk a lot about how inflation ruined the markets, and I went to some detail on that. So I already know that inflation is pretty much the main issue in the Krunker markets. But while I was trying to do the trading, I noticed that the cheaper items actually seem to get cheaper, while the more expensive items, like maybe over 50,000 KR, only rose. And unobtainables are not being traded whatsoever. People are holding on to them because those things are just skyrocketing. Unobtainables are getting so expensive. It's crazy. Anybody with an unobtainable knows to keep it because it's just going to keep on rising. And then I noticed another big issue is that while the rate of inflation rises, the amount of KR that you get per game doesn't rise. So while the Contras and unobtainables keep rising, you're not getting enough KR to afford those. I already said in the last video that 100 million KR today is easily the same as 100,000 a year ago. That means the rate of inflation has increased 10 times the original amounts. So again, while the items increase its price, the amount of KR you're getting per game is not the same. Instead of getting 10 KR for every 100 points that we get per game, we get 1 KR. But that doesn't match with the rate of inflation. I'm scared to think of how much inflation there will be by the end of the next year. Unobtainables could be hundreds of millions of KR, while you're still only getting 1 KR for every kill that you get in a pub on average. And relics could still be at an average of like 4k to 3k KR each. That means if you're not rich, there's no way you're getting an unobtainable. They're going to be impossible to get. And sure, it's in the name, unobtainable, but oh my gosh, it's going to be impossible. I also got a moderator, Rush, thank you Rush, to host a poll in the Krunker Bunker market chats. As you can see, the poll is asking, should either all event items be non-tradable, or should all event items be obtained through KR or spins, so even if you win them, you still have to spend KR to get them, or keep event items as is. You could see in the poll that only one person voted that the event items should be how they are now, versus 6 votes saying that all event items should be non-tradable, and 10 votes saying that they should all be obtained through KR or spins. So it seems that not many people really like the current state of Twitch drops, especially in the market chats. And most votes were saying that event items and Twitch drops should be obtained through KR or spins. Now I think both poll suggestions 1 or 2 would work, so I'm going to quickly break down which each one means and what it'll do for the markets. We'll start with 1. Basically, event items won't be tradable, or that you could only trade event items with event items. So then it's a separate market side that doesn't influence the main markets. But then that also means that you wouldn't be able to sell items on the special event item markets, because then people might save their KR only for that side rather than the main markets. And that will just start up new issues. So for the event item market, there should only be trading rather than buying them with KR. This way, people can still collect event items, but it won't influence the main markets or the season items. Or just scrap this whole market idea and just make them completely untradeable. So then for events and Twitch drops, people will try even harder to get these items. Kind of like what they did for Zed's charity streams. And then we're going to move on to 2. Should all event items be obtained through KR or cost KR to spin? Now this way would also work as well. Remember how they did the Easter events when it came out? They released special items like the Soretta and Egg Tamer and Hyper Yoke. Now those things are still pretty pricey, but I don't think it really influenced the market much, since it costs 600 KR per spin, which is actually more than the regular heroic spin, to get them. That means this did not cause inflation because they were not free. But of course they are a little bit more expensive since they are rarer and they're special little event items. But again, they still cost KR. And what if they do take my suggestions on all of these, and they control the Twitch and event items where they either can't be tradable or they cost KR? I think what they should do is have it so that Twitch drops cannot be tradable, but event items like for Halloween, Christmas, Easter, etc., those can be tradable, but they do cost KR to spin. Again, we saw that the Easter event didn't go too bad, and I think everyone had fun with that. And if they added more challenges for each event, like for the upcoming Christmas events, where maybe you could find little presents hidden around the map, and then it costs you KR to unbox those presents, and then you'd get like a random cool item. That would work. I think the reason they made the relics for the Halloween event non-tradable is because for the Halloween event, you could play on alts and then just collect all these items on multiple accounts, and then when they do become tradable, you could just send them all to your main account. And that's why they should not be free. I'm not going to forget that there's still those event items and Twitch items that are floating around on the market, which are still disrupting a lot of stuff. I understand a lot of people that have those event and Twitch drop items would be extremely mad if they just got deleted. So I'm just kind of thinking this on the spot, but maybe they could have like a month's time to trade them away for stable items, or they could keep it, and then by the end of the month, they'll all be locked on their accounts, so they can't trade them. That idea, unlike the others, I literally just thought on the spot while talking right now, so I'll probably have to think about that more, because I understand that if I don't think it through, there could be a lot of issues coming up. If you see any issues with that, please comment down below. As for the unobtainables and how expensive they are, I don't think Krunker can fix that. You can't really bring the prices down unless the players choose to, and I don't think that the players should be forced to do that. Unfortunately, I think that's just how it's going to be. Also, I've heard that there's going to be some unobtainables for the people that finish the Halloween event in the quickest time. I think that's going to ruin a lot of stuff. You've already seen Vertigo, which is also an event item, how expensive it is. It's literally the most expensive item on the market. It's pretty much priceless. Any offer that you make to someone who owns it will not accept. I asked a lot of good market people how much it's worth, and they said that it's worth over 60 million KR, but I don't think that anybody who owns Vertigo is trading it for under 100 million KR. It looks like a team of 6 people beat the events, so I don't think it's going to be more than Vertigo. In fact, there was only supposed to be 5 Vertigos for the first 5 people that found all the eggs across all the maps, but a developer spawned one in for a collector. Good job, developers. Stopping inflation. But anyways, this Halloween unobtainable is going to end up just like the Vertigo. I think one last thing which would be really cool is if they had like a public trading board on the markets where you could say, here's my item, I have a Vanta Black, and what I want in return is a Spectralitron and some Contras. They'd all have to be specific Contras, like Spectralitron and maybe a 180. I'm actually not quite sure if that's fair or not, probably not. So let's say someone has a Vanta, and what they want in return is a Spectralitron and a 180. And then anybody that has a Spectralitron and a 180 could see that trade public, and then they could accept it. So basically, it would be a big public trading board where you have an item, and if you want specific items in return, anybody that has those items can accept it whenever they want. It can be completely anybody. Alright guys, that's all for this video. If you got this far, please comment down what your favorite skin is in Krunker. 2 of my favorite skins are the Antimatter and the Op Stream, which is a Season 1 relic item. I think it looks really cool, and I really like doing audio engineering and stuff, so it gives me good vibes like that. Also, please comment down any issues you have for my suggestions, as I do want a lot of feedback from players like you guys. And please also comment suggestions that you would have to fix the market as well. I'd love to hear them all. And of course, I'm going to ask you to subscribe and like the video. I think if it gets enough likes and views, this might go big like the other one did, and then I could send it off to developers, and if we get good feedback on it, we might be able to actually fix the markets.